You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show.
Selfie.
When Jason was at the table, I kept on saying,
You're not in mine.
That's not even a real selfie. Hey guys, welcome into the Keeping Up with the Kardashians After Show right here on AfterBuzzTV.com. They're taking selfies because Kim took a lot of selfies today in the show, of course.
Naturally.
Season 9, Episode 14, a Thailand vacation, Part 1. I'm your host, Bobby DeMuro, joined by my lovely panel, as always. Next to me, the wonderful Francesca Dugan. I like
Vogue.
it. Kind of Vogue. And across the table from us, of course, it's the two Southern belles, Miss Jessie Owen and North Carolina's own Sterling Cates. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Everybody's got a lot to say today. Hey, before we kick it off, remember, guys, if you haven't already, if you're listening or watching on YouTube or iTunes, hit subscribe. You can rate us on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. You can also comment on YouTube. We love hearing all the comments from you guys, so please keep doing it. I know that we all pretty much respond to personally every comment, good or bad. So if you're feeling a little frisky, say something bad about one of us to see what happens.
No, please don't.
All right, let's get into the show today. And Francesca, you did little Vogue hands, so let's start with this Vogue idea. Before we get to the trip and all the good stuff that came with the trip and the not so good stuff, let's talk about Kim being on the cover of Vogue. I don't know about you guys, but as much as I love to make fun of Kim, and she is so easy to make fun of, being on the cover of Vogue is a big deal.
This is a huge thing for her.
And
for Kanye.
Yeah.
He's the 5th guy to ever be on the cover of Vogue.
And her family should have been more supportive, right?
Yeah.
They were like, you're pregnant. Oh, you're on Vogue? Oh, okay.
She shouldn't have built it up so much. Like, she should have just, like, told them, you know, not had, like, a whole family meeting. Like, oh, my God, guess what, guys? Like, yeah, it's exciting, but I'm sure they're like, okay, there's Kim still in our thunder again. Like,
I don't know. I think it's a pretty big deal.
It's
Honestly,
huge.
if it's something you're excited about, you want your family to be excited about it with you.
I agree. It is a big deal, but I'm just trying to see that, you know, like from their point of view, like Khloe and Kourtney, they're probably like tired of hearing about Kim getting all this, you know, good stuff.
I know what you're saying, Jessie, and I hear that, but I think that Kendall, as successful as she is doing her own thing. Kourtney and Khloe are at different stages in their life where they're not concerned with fame anymore. If this were season 1 or 2 and they were looking at Kim, they would be tired of Kim maybe stealing their thunder because they're new to fame. These girls have been famous for a decade now.
Right.
I think
and they're
the
famous
fame
because
is
of Kim.
Exactly.
Like.
And they know that.
Yeah.
And they talk about it all the time. And I think this 15 minutes of fame idea, they're beyond that. They've had way more than 15 minutes. So if it were 5 or 6 years ago, I'd agree with you. But now I just think they're jerks.
Yeah.
I just think everybody's a little too selfish. I don't know if it's jealousy.
It was weird though, because usually they're so super supportive.
What you drinking, girl?
Water. Because they're all so close. But I like how they were making fun of Kris too. They were like, look,
I was gonna say that was the
Kim's
best
her
part.
little cheerleader, or vice versa in this particular matter. But they're like, oh, Kris is in one shot in the magazine. That's why she's so excited for this.
I thought that was the best part because it's so typical of Kris, especially if it's relating to Kim. But she was in the background like hee hee hee, like it's like her on Christmas morning basically.
Yep.
It is. Well, you got to be a good momager, and a good momager gets you on the cover of Vogue, right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
part of it.
And she's in Vogue, and Kris has little
cameo.
Yeah, a little cameo.
Next month on the cover of Vogue, Kris Jenner. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But I mean, how they reacted is kind of funny because when it came out on social media, everyone was just going in on it. Right. People were like, I will never buy another magazine of Vogue. Anna Wintour's crazy, just ridiculous, blah blah blah. But I was just like,
well, even Kim said she acknowledged that they start controversy. Her and Kanye
yes,
together.
I love that.
Yeah,
comment.
She knows it. They know it. That's the whole point of their fame and what they've got going on.
Didn't he pay for them to be on the cover of Vogue?
I'm sure some
I feel like that's like last season or continuation. I figure it was last season's news and gossip. Like we went over that.
Well, the way they set it up in this episode, because obviously they would, it seemed like Anna Wintour confronted them personally to ask, but I mean, I don't know.
I mean, to get designers to design wedding dresses for Kim, that's not, that's a huge deal. A lot of people love to just say all kinds of things and make up stories or just bash on them. So I don't think they paid to be on Vogue.
A lot of
people, that's a huge deal.
I'm not making that up. I swear that I heard that. But like, I mean, a lot of people are going to want them to wear their things because they're getting a lot of publicity. They're promoting, like Michael Kors, like Kim's having a huge wedding. Like everybody's talking about it. So of course, like being that person, that's smart to get her.
Exactly. It was a great move.
Yeah, Anna was a beautiful cover. I didn't have any bad things to say.
I haven't even seen it. I don't even know what it looks like.
The cute pictures with her and North and Kanye. It was I loved it. I thought it was nice.
And you love Kim, so.
I love
Bobby,
Kim.
what do you think?
Yeah, Bobby.
I thought Vogue was a big deal.
Do you buy Vogue every month?
I don't buy it every month. Usually, if I'm in the airport or something, I'll splurge by Vogue. But
you're one of those that just reads it and doesn't buy it.
I read it for the articles. That's what I say about most magazines. I read it for the articles. Hey, moving right along, though, let's get to Rob. Hey, okay, how about Robbie's? This is a good transition point into Thailand because Rob doesn't actually go to Thailand. Where do we start with Mr. Kardashian the younger, ladies? What do we think about this situation? First off, I don't know about y'all. I know he's still overweight. I thought he looked a little bit better today. Notice he's always wearing black, which of course is a slimming color. It's a self-consciousness issue. Obviously, you don't want to be on camera, which we understand. I thought he looked a little bit better in this episode than he has in the past and in the tabloids.
Well, this episode, it started off very hopeful. Chloe said he's going to the gym. He seemed happy that Chloe was moving in. And then he even showed up to get the shots for Thailand. So I was like, oh, well, maybe he is going and getting his life together. He's working out. Maybe he's getting healthier. But then he doesn't end up coming. So I don't know what happened there. But he wasn't at his house, though. Because when Chloe left, she was like he was MIA. So I wonder where he was.
Which is kind of rude and like disrespectful that you would treat your family like that. Just if you're not going to go, just say, hey, I'm not going to go. Like, don't make them call you. Don't make them late. Like, come on. It's another one of those Kardashian things where they think everything's about them.
Yeah, it is, but it also isn't, and I think that's not what's going on with Rob. I understand it's disrespectful to say something about that, and I've been waiting to talk about Rob for a long time, so maybe now is the best time to do that.
I was going to say, let's just put it out there.
I understand what's going on with Rob, and I don't. I'm not obviously a psychologist. I don't know him personally. We're just speculating, and it could be totally wrong. But having lived it myself, I think a little part of what's going on with Rob is it's not about his weight. It's not about his status in the family. Those are issues. I know he's kind of the black sheep in a lot of regards because the girls are so dominant and so successful and so overbearing in a good way. It's not about that stuff, though. It's about a guy in his 20s who kind of lost his way after school or after whatever it was, and he started this sock thing, and it took off, but it kind of hasn't taken off, and he moved out, but he didn't move out for a while, and he stayed with Chloe and Lamar, and it's this idea of sort of an aimless existence, and we all go through that at times. The issue is this.
Quarter life crisis.
Yeah, but with Rob, the issue is this, because I have lived this, and I don't know about y'all, maybe you have too, but I know a lot of people have, and I don't know what you diagnose it as, if it's depression or anxiety or whatever, but you get up one day, and you have a bad day, and you say, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to get up and not do anything. I'm going to take tomorrow off. And then tomorrow becomes a week, becomes a month, becomes 5 years. And before you know it, you've lost time and you're literally losing your life. You may not be, eating yourself to death or drinking yourself to death. Or, there's no inclination that he has any kind of weird addiction. I know we've talked a little bit of stuff on news and gossip, but nothing that's really stuck. But it's the idea of just by sheerly not understanding what's going on or looking the other way, you lose significant amount of time in your life. And everybody, I don't know if you diagnose it as depression. We're certainly not going to diagnose it on this show. We don't know them and we're not doctors. But I don't know what you would diagnose it as more than just the fact to say, nobody can help you out of that. At least this is my personal opinion because I did it. Nobody can help you out of that except for you.
Yeah.
He can go to doctors. He can go to trainers. He can go to nutritionists. And he has talked about doing that stuff. But he has been adamant on this show before that he doesn't want to do that stuff and just hire somebody. He needs to learn it himself. and he's right. Because the nutritionist can pay for, get the food, you can pay for this and that, but if you don't learn why you did it in the first place, you're going to fall right back into it. And so I know a lot of people will make fun of him or say he got fat or say this and that, and I understand the inclination that people want to do that, and I know it's tempting to just say, dude, get over it, you're rich, man, you don't have any problems. I get it, but it's deeper than that. And it's this idea of, you almost don't know why you got to where you got. You don't know how you got there. But once you realize you're there, you were in so deep, you don't know how to get out.
Exactly. And you said you've been through it.
And one more thing I would say, that it's manifested doubly. I don't mean to cut you off, Francesca.
No worries.
But it's manifested doubly being in this family. Not only is it public, not only is it high profile, but everybody else, as much as we make fun of them, everybody else is very successful at what they do. And so for Rob, it gets manifested doubly by not only having to deal with this personally and feeling like you can't probably go to too many people, but the people you would go to in your family are living on top of the world. And so you start evenly with them. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll do a little graphic. You start evenly, and as you start sinking down, they don't stay even, they start rising up. And you're not 10 feet from them, you're a metaphorical 100 feet from them. And you have nobody to relate to. Lamar is now gone from his life,
and that was his best friend.
You have no one to relate to, and it's like, dude, Rob, if you're watching, come on out, I'll talk to you. And I'm not even kidding about this, because I went through this, and I know we may be going through different things. It may not be exactly the same, but I see a lot of what he's going through and a lot of the symptoms of it. And one of the symptoms is you are so embarrassed about what you've become, and you're so ashamed of who you are and what you've become, you don't show up for things, and you make excuses, and you try to kind of become a hermit. Rob didn't show up for Kim's wedding, or did and then left. Rob doesn't show up for this Thailand trip. We can say, dude, what's your problem? You didn't show up. His problem is he's ashamed or embarrassed or whatever it is, and he can't face it. And when you can't face it around the people who love you that much, who are supposed to love you unconditionally, and I believe that they do, you still can't face it. You're still embarrassed because you're so ashamed of yourself. It doesn't matter who's around you. Even if they love you, you don't love yourself at this point, and you can't stand to deal with that, and you keep wallowing yourself lower and lower and lower. And one day, you'll hit rock bottom, you'll get an epiphany, and you'll say, I can't do this anymore. But until that day comes, you're almost on your own. I hate to say it, but it's until that day comes, it's living hell, and I don't know what else to say about that. It's just...
What were you going to add, Francesca?
No, I don't remember anymore.
I don't mean to turn
I forgot it.
I don't mean to turn. I don't mean to make this all about this, and I don't mean to turn this obviously to a somber note on the show or whatever. But you're looking at somebody whose life literally is at a precipice, and it's not like he's gonna die next year. He's not gonna do. I don't know what's going through his head. I'm not saying like there's gonna be a tragedy. I just mean his life is at a precipice in the sense that he every day he has the ability to make a decision to say, I'm going to change the way I live. And you can see him trying to do that, going to the gym, being a little more involved, doing whatever. But every day it's a battle. And every day you have to fight your own head and say, I have to go outside. I have to do this and that. I have to, you can call it depression or whatever, but it's a battle in his own head every day. And he is losing more battles than he's winning right now. I would guess, I would assume, I don't know that for a fact, but I would guess he's losing more than he's winning. And it's going to stay like that for a while. And then the thing that happened to me is just one day you kind of decide and you say, I can't do this anymore. I can't live like that anymore. I've wasted too much time. And when he gets to that point, it'll be successful, and it'll be a long road back to be successful, and you'll still fight every single day. But until you get to that point, you're living in hell.
I agree. I think you're spot on with all of that. But as much as it is his responsibility to get himself back on the right track, thank God for Chloe, because if she wasn't around, and granted, she is going through a bunch of stuff in her own personal life, but if she wasn't around, you have to have support from someone. You need to know that someone is behind you. And it seems Kim has completely...
Tough love.
Well, she's tough love. I get that, because it is his decision, and it is his life that he needs to improve. But Kim also is just sweeping it under the rug and not... She doesn't even seem like... She cares, but she's not making an effort to show that she is supporting him. And supporting him can look so many different ways. It can be, hey, I'm here for you if you ever need me. It can be calling you or sending that text that you need, like, hey, like, have a great day. Just like little things like that, just to know that you have people behind you. And what I found interesting is that Chloe, obviously very passionate about Rob, very close with Rob. We saw that a lot this episode, always making an effort to reach out, see where he is, follow up with him. But we never really see Chris comment about Rob or you know, as a mother, where I wanted to see more of how she felt about this whole thing in the episode.
Yeah, I feel like whenever she talks, she's like, so how's Rob? Like, it's more like she's asking a friend how their brother or
like, is he
sister
going to come to Thailand? I just feel like that's something you probably called
should,
your son to ask about. And I just think as a parent, she should be less concerned about Kim's Vogue cover and maybe a little more concerned about Rob's current situation.
I think Chris is too type A, and Kim is too type A, and Bruce is too type A, and people like that will never understand because they'll kind of say, you have a problem, solve it, figure it out, work hard. What are you doing? You got to work hard. And it's like, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong about that, but that is not the way to go about this business with this person. I think the best person for Rob, besides Chloe, because they have such a close bond, is Scott. Yeah. Because Scott can take his mind off of it in a funny way. And Scott can go to him and say, you know what, dude, I'm not going to solve your problem. Can we just have fun and hang out and bond a little bit? And it's little things like that that can kind of inch him out. Somebody like Scott could do wonders where maybe nobody else will succeed because somebody like Kim or Chris does not have the sensitivity to do it. I get the impression that Chris has probably tried and given up because Chris's way of going about it is like, hey man, let's go, you got to figure it out. You got to Chris's thing of going about it is like, hey man, let's go, you got to figure this out, like this is unacceptable for a family member. And Rob's not trying to hear that, or he is, but he just can't change.
I completely agree that it is up to Rob to make this decision to change his life, but you do need to have that support system. You do need to come together in times like that. It's not a time to be by yourself, locked in a room. You need to be around people, and I really feel like that could be the biggest thing to help him get through this.
Yeah,
as little as he wants to be around people.
Yeah.
In everyone else's defense, though, I'm sure you all know someone who's, say, like a girlfriend who's in like a horrible relationship, and you're there for them, and they just keep staying there, and after a while, it's just like you can't keep putting in that after. You're there for them, but you can't keep overdoing it. And so just because we don't see it on the show doesn't mean that they're not supportive.
Right.
And Chloe is just more, I feel like, more emotional anyways, and she is really close to Rob, so that's why we see it a lot with her. And she like she said, she feels a little guilty about it because Lamar and her divorce, they used to be best friends. Now he's, living by himself. He's not with Lamar, and Lamar's not even, I'm sure, like,
Lamar is not the person he needs to help.
Yeah, exactly. He's wishy-washy too. He doesn't show up, or he disappears. He doesn't have contact, and so Chloe feels guilty clearly, so it's going to be more emotional for her.
And don't underestimate Rob's ability to push people away, either explicitly or just kind of very quietly through his actions.
And we've seen that even before these problems became really clear. Just in the beginning of when the show first started, he was always kind of just in the shadows, and it's
that same idea. It starts with a week, and you're like, I don't want to see people this week, whatever. I like being alone personally. I'm like, I don't want to see people this week. But a week turns into a month, turns into a year. Right. And you start finding a lot of excuses to do that.
It's like working out.
And then the people who are there, the people who should have been there for you and want to be there for you, they give up. Because they do that, and they say, you know what, I can't try anymore. You've rejected me 50 times. I can't try anymore. And they're not wrong to say that. I understand where they're coming from. But don't underestimate Rob may be pushing people away here, whether he realizes it or not, which is only making the problem
worse. At the end of the day, you can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. And it is exhausting to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. But but when they do reach out and they're ready to make that step, you do need to be there, and they need to know that you're there.
Yeah.
Whether it's, okay, well, when you're ready, let me know because I'll be here. But you don't need to keep pushing.
Yeah. It's dead serious about Rob. I'm not even kidding. It's dead serious. And obviously this may not be exactly what's going on. Obviously there's a lot of other stuff that are probably going on. And there are things that don't get shown on the show that we don't know, that who knows what is. But if it is what it looks to be or something like that, it's dead serious. Let's move on from that. I don't want to talk about that anymore. You guys are going to get me emotional. Let's talk about something fun. I'm not even kidding. Let's talk about this trip.
Yeah, let's talk about how, do you guys just all sit down with your family and put places in a jar and pick it out and, hey, let's just go clear across the country every year?
That would be awesome. Where would y'all have said y'all would go?
Thailand.
I'd say Japan.
I would have said Turkey.
Oh, God.
Okay, Bruce.
Okay,
Bruce.
conflict.
Yeah, listen. Okay, I can't believe Bruce said that. This is an Armenian family. First off, I thought Kim's idea to go to Armenia was great. That would have been cool. Armenia, from what I understand, is a pretty cool place. but Bruce saying Turkey. Obviously, if you know your history, Turkey and Armenia had some conflicts, and there was a genocide, okay? It wasn't just a war, there was a genocide that Turkey has never admitted to. I can't believe he said Turkey, knowing it's an Armenian family.
Well, did you hear Kim? She was like, Bruce.
I know.
And he was like, what?
Oh, right.
Maybe he wants to go to Turkey.
He just
I know, right?
Turkey's
Maybe he
amazing.
wants to turn their view around.
Turkey's incredible, but it's not incredible if you're a very public Armenian
I
family.
wonder if they would have been welcomed, like, in Turkey, like...
I think so, because they're American. They wouldn't have considered them Armenian they probably would have been fine.
Yeah.
And nowadays, the Turkish-Armenian relationship is much different nowadays than it was, but it's still that idea of
conflict.
A huge conflict in the past and a huge genocide in the past that Turkey's never really admitted to and is a big source of problem for them. Not to give you all a history lesson, but I can't believe Bruce said that. But anyways, so they picked Thailand. Never been. I don't know about y'all.
No,
never been to
not
Southeast
yet.
Asia.
Not yet.
I will.
But it looks pretty good, huh? How about that? How about that little hotel resort situation?
A hotel?
I wonder if that was
like
gifted
Paradise?
to them for just the exposure on the show.
Oh, for sure.
You don't think they
100%.
had to pay anything?
We'll give them a little
know, but that was
exposure too. That
ridiculous.
resort is called Iniala. You can go there at Thailand. I'm just kidding. I don't know what the website is, but yeah,
Hey, we promoted you. Give us a free room.
I know,
We'll
right?
share.
Just one
We'll
room.
split
One.
a room.
We'll
One
take the
room in
beach
the house.
room with the
I will
pool.
sleep
Yeah.
on the floor.
I'll sleep on that moon
bouncy
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
We'll split a room as long as you bring us the doctor that makes house calls that can give us those shots. How about that, huh?
Right.
That's
That'd be
super
nice.
flirty with Chris. Too.
Yeah, I know.
That was
Did you
awesome.
see that-
He's like,
see that
yeah,
wedding
let me
ring?
see your
Yeah,
booty.
I thought a little, yeah.
She's like, that hurt. Thanks, though.
Doctor, I need to go in this room for a minute. Do you want to follow me?
Doctor, I need the shot here.
Okay,
Yes, you do.
you two need to calm down.
Anyways,
Hey, I'm just repeating what she said.
I wish that I could do Thailand. No, actually, I don't. I wish they would. I like seeing cultures and places a little bit more intimately.
Yeah. I mean,
but,
they showed a lot
man,
of B-roll of the culture, but I don't think they actually left that.
Here's the thing though. You can go to the beach anywhere, and I'm sure Thailand beaches are very different than LA, of course. But you can go to the beach a lot of places, and you can go ziplining anywhere.
Yeah,
So-
but okay. Are we transitioning into Chris's view and Bruce's view?
You talk about it a little
Kinda?
bit, yeah.
Okay, so I think I can see both sides because when I go on relationships, when I go on
Oh, really?
vacation,
Just going
sorry,
on a quick relationship real
when
quick.
I go on vacation, I love to relax and I'd love to get a massage and all that intimate stuff in Thailand, of course. But doing all the activities, like, the scenery, and I would never go zip lining, but zip lining to jungle,
I thought it was awesome. I would love to do that.
Coming from the girl who skydived last week.
I mean, hair flip.
Oh, no.
I mean, I every time I go on like vacations, I want to do as much as I can, and then also get in the chill,
Right.
relaxed time. I think that's normal. I feel like they were making it a huge deal about being jam-packed and being this, and not everyone has to do the same exact thing all the time.
Right.
Hey, we're gonna go here and we're gonna go here. Who
But they're
wants to
trying to
come?
do a family vacation.
Yeah, but their family's huge. If it was like 4 of them, it'd be different. There's like 7 of them there.
Right. And they're also there for almost a week. It said 5 or 6 days.
Yeah,
So,
it's
I
plenty of
mean,
time.
go skydiving for the morning, come home, get a massage. I can plan it out for you if you need
Exactly.
me to.
As
What's
long-
Stephanie doing other than taking pictures? I feel like she should be
Seriously.
I want Stephanie's
scheduling
job.
this.
As
She
long-
needs to be
you know,
scheduling
as long
these
as the
things.
Does
flight-
Stephanie need an assistant?
Yeah, just anyone needs an assistant because I can book a free trip to Thailand.
As long as
Like
the,
ASAP.
as long as the flight is from LA to Bangkok or wherever they flew into Thailand, you'd think that this family would stay for longer than 5 days. You need like a day or two of catch-up time crossing the international date line and on jet lag.
Well, maybe
That's a short
maybe
trip.
that
they
jet
did.
lag is
Maybe
rough.
Yeah,
Maybe it was 5 or 6 days after they got
Yeah.
over the jet lag.
I don't know.
I
was
doubt
thinking,
it.
Yeah, they take like a 10-day trip.
because then that would be like a 2-day. Well, then that
This
would
is
make
a
sense why
three-part
they would
This is a
argue
three-part.
about what they're doing.
Well,
But,
Brody and them basically missed almost 2 days
Yeah.
because they slept and then they came in and yeah.
My aunt was watching this show before I left to come here, and she told me, when you get there, I have a question for you.
Ooh.
Do you think Bruce is right or Chris is right? And I was like, I wonder what she's talking about.
Yeah.
But to see them constantly arguing the whole time,
I think they're both not right. Like, they're not really arguing about anything, really. Like, Chris, if you want to stay home and get a massage, stay home and please get a massage. Because Kylie and Kendall, yeah, well, she obviously needs it. But, like, it's just ruins the whole thing to hear the bickering the whole time. Them back and forth at each other was stressing me out. And I'm trying to watch them, like, vacation. I should be relaxed. Meanwhile, I'm getting anxiety, like, listening to them argue the whole time.
I personally think that they should not take a huge family trip together. I think Bruce should do his family trip, and if the Kardashian family wants to come along, that's fine. And then Kris should do her family trip.
But guess what? Bruce would never do a family trip.
Yeah.
He might, though. Like, if it meant him not going on this one, I think he would, just to spend more time with his family.
Do you know my man Bruce?
Yeah, but are you trying to say he wouldn't plan a family vacation, like, to get the family together?
Oh, no. He'd get the family together the way he's been doing it, like go-karting and golfing and stuff. If Bruce had it his way, he would wake up in Malibu every day for the rest of his life.
It was hard enough to get him on the vacation. He's like, you can beach in Malibu.
Yeah.
But I think that might be harder on Kendall and Kylie to have that separate lives. If they can make it work and they can start being adults about it and not, take these side conversations away from the dinner table, away from that sort of stuff, because it obviously is affecting Kendall and Kylie specifically. No one else really cares, but you got to keep them as your main priority at this point.
Yeah, I felt like, I mean, again, we only see what they show us, but I felt like Kris was being super over dramatic, making a huge deal. Oh, so what are we gonna? Bruce even asked her, "What's the plans for tomorrow?" And he's like, do you want to do canoeing? He didn't even say, we for sure going canoeing. He said, do you want to do canoeing or kayaking or whatever? And she was like, oh, just whatever you want to do and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But then one of you guys said the same thing. Well, it can't always just be what Kris wants to do. That's what I'm saying. Well, like, they have to have, like, a balance.
She made the comment. She was like, it's whatever you want to do, not what everybody else. Nobody was complaining but her.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm sure everybody would have just gone with the flow. It was her being dramatic, but everybody had their little dramatic moment.
Well, I mean, Kim was complaining on that zip line.
As much as I love
you guys, hang on, guys. When you become a mom, every decision you make is different.
Okay, that was BS. I call BS on that, but I mean, it is true. I get what she's saying, but don't use that as your excuse of why you didn't go. You didn't go because you were scared, and I'm with you, girl, because I have been there. I have cried on, not a zip line, but it was like I just got off the zip line. They pulled you off, and I cried. So I will not make fun of her for crying.
She also said the purpose of life is to take selfies. So I don't know if that was a very motherly thing to say.
But as much as I love Kim, I just love her crying face.
It's great.
It's the best. And I've seen like t-shirts and sweatshirts with the crying face.
There's phone cases with it on the back.
Yes.
So when you're like taking a selfie, it looks like.
Forget t-shirts. Let's see your impersonation of it right now, Francesca.
No.
Make the face.
No, I make really ugly faces when I cry too, so I'm not gonna embarrass myself.
I don't think anybody's really a pretty crier.
It's like
you're right. I don't think anyone's really a pretty crier.
Eyes watering.
Wait,
what?
Are you doing the?
Eyes watering.
She does this. That. She goes.
Yeah, if you guys are listening to the podcast, you're missing quite the show
you're
right
missing.
now.
You just gotta watch it on YouTube. But I think she freaked out. I understand because I'm a little bit scared of heights too. Like if I'm walking upstairs where you can see under each step.
I feel like
best
going
believe
down,
I'm holding on to the rail like a crazy 5-year-old.
So you struggle with those new stairs at Runyon. You ever been
there?
those
aren't that. Those aren't bad though, because the ground's right under them. If they were high above and the ground was way below, that'd be a different story.
But they are open though, right?
Yeah, but literally the ground's right there. Yeah. It's not a drop
I feel
or
like
anything.
Going down those stairs would be much worse.
That's what I was saying.
Up them.
You're good because going up the stairs, they're like, "Whoa, these stairs are super."
But
so
you
I
can't
would have just
see
been like,
all
"Let
the
me
way
just
You can sit and scoot. That's happened to me too.
And then you're gonna like trip up on a stair and tumble all the way down.
No, you sit and you just go down one and go down another.
Like you're 80 years old and you're trying to go down the stairs in your house or something.
Dude,
no offense to 80-year-olds.
I don't like heights. It's just, and you know what's weird is when I was younger, I could do all the height stuff and it didn't bother me. But as I got older, I got more scared.
Is that because you became a mom and every decision you made was different?
Wait, I have to say something about
a doggy mom.
About getting older. When you were little, I used to swing on the swings forever. I tried to swing on the swing. This was like even 5 years ago, and I got sick, and I was like nauseous. No. I was like, nope, can't do swings.
Okay, wait a minute. Well, hold on.
Not as young as you once were.
Hold on. This is you swinging on the swing 5 years ago when you got nauseous. Francesca, were you drunk?
No.
Are you sure?
I wasn't even able to drink 5 years ago.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Sure. You just turned 23, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So no, but
32.
yeah, I feel like as you get older too, like heights and all that stuff, whatever. I'd still do the ziplining thing. I'd be freaking out. I'd still jump out of a plane like the Stir did, but I'd probably pee myself.
The Stir. Hashtag
no,
the Stir.
no. Well, at least you know it wouldn't really. Well, it might hit you. If you
Well, the
peed on
thing is
yourself.
like once you're up there, I can speak from experience. It's just kind of like, well, this is happening, and then you just kind of hold on, and they push you out of a plane or something.
Push you out of a plane.
This is the way I'm meant to go. No.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine your thing not your parachute not going? Oh. Nope.
But that's a
why I won't
little
do
bit.
it.
That's a little bit more intense than the zip line, where you're hooked in the entire time, and there's no requirement that you actually pull your own cord.
Right.
Like you're already hooked. All you got to do is jump off the thing, and you can't stop it.
I thought it was hilarious how Bruce was just like making all those comments just to aggravate Chris. Like, oh my God, I'm slipping out, and she's like. But also, I love that they have that GoPro on like a stick, because have you ever seen that meme of that lady taking? And it says
the selfie thing.
It says "Forever Alone" or something like that.
That's really
Wait, I'm confused.
So you know how they had the GoPros, the little cameras stuck on their helmet, so you could see, whatever. Bruce had a long.
I saw the stick.
So you could like
with a
record
camera
it. It was
on it,
just
so you could
funny.
record
It was
it.
just funny because he's getting Chris freaking out while he's like, "Oh my God, we're slipping, we're falling."
I really need to catch up with today's technology.
She's
It's
like,
cool,
"What's an
Jessie. So
iPhone?" I'm
basically,
just kidding.
I'm going to tell you right now, Jessie, we're on the internet. It was invented 30, 35 years ago.
have dial-up. What are you talking about?
HTTP://
I tried to call her at home and it was busy because she was on the internet. I could hear that.
And did it knock her off the modem, too?
Yes, I was so mad.
I remember all that technology. Oh, Lord. Okay,
Really
hey.
can't.
What else was funny?
On the trip?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what about the selfies? Let's talk about the selfies.
Let's talk about the selfies.
Let's talk about Brody.
Let's talk about how I'm annoyed with selfies. I didn't like them to begin with because they look weird in them.
Hold on. Whoa, wait a second, Jessie. I can't let you do this. I cannot let you do this.
Yes, you can.
You take more pictures than any human I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
I cannot let you do this.
Okay, in my defense, I take group pictures. I take pictures with people. I don't take pictures of myself.
Selfies are the new thing.
That's
Don't
true.
attack
Okay.
Francesca.
I love selfies.
Selfies aren't bad.
I am just not a selfie person. It's like, okay, I see so many of my friends taking selfies and putting them up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and I'm like, okay, I saw that picture yesterday. You're just wearing a different outfit.
Yeah, the
like,
people that take selfie, like your Instagram
come
feed
on.
is completely self. Exactly. But she was also doing this because she's making a book for
Kanye. I think she really just wants him to be involved with everything. I feel like she has this obsession with him, and like she wants him to be there, obviously, as you should.
Which is
your
cool.
Fiance. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was very thoughtful. I feel like it's something he would really like. But at the same time, you're in Thailand, you're watching fireworks, you're watching people eat fire.
you're with
you
your
don't want to be more
family.
concerned with the camera than you are with what's actually happening in this moment.
My friend coined this term for this. It's called notionalizing.
Yeah.
Like we were
Not
at
on social
eating
media.
and we were all on our phones and realized, wait a minute, we're at dinner or lunch together, whatnot. Let's focus on the present.
Socializing with people who aren't there.
Exactly.
And it was like the whole family was like watching the whole thing, and like she's sitting there like in the background. You
I
know,
hate it
just
when
like,
y'all
Pretty
do
nice
that.
camera.
And it's like,
I know, right?
I don't know.
Have you guys ever played the game where you're like at brunch or lunch or whatever, and everyone puts their phones in the middle in the tower, and then the first person to grab the phone
Pays
has
the bill?
to either pay the bill or buy a round of shots for everyone. I usually do the second.
I've never played it,
option.
but I've waited on people playing it.
That's weird. I like it. Learning it new. But her selfies were funny, and for Stephanie to take some of her quote unquote selfies,
Yeah.
she saw it all, and so did Brody.
Well, there was also
you
that.
go,
I
Brody.
thought that
You
was
go.
a hot
I
photo
don't know.
shoot. There's nothing wrong with doing an after hours photo shoot when you're not with the family. That's hot.
Yeah.
But you know,
When they were actually in Thailand, they all put this on Instagram. She was making those slow motion videos or whatever. There's the one in the pool where she like whips her hair back and her hair goes real. So that was when they were in Thailand. So this was a while ago. And then it was either Brody or Brandon, I can't remember, but did a parody video of it, I guess. And they like were in the pool and they did the slow motion hair flip. It was really funny.
Well, Brody. I just love that he literally got flustered and he literally
he liked it.
I mean,
and it is Kim Kardashian. Can you imagine like walking into a room and Kim Kardashian is there in the flesh, naked?
But I think he's over that.
Let me.
Bobby, how would you react?
I would react the same way Bobby would, though.
I would react the same way.
But he's been around her for so long. The shock should be over. Like, I understand seeing her naked. Like, talk. Seeing her naked would kind of be like, oh God, and he was probably embarrassed, and it was really awkward, and he probably get turned on.
Well, he did say he had a half chub, but Sterling, as you are so quick to inform us, because you do know Brody Jenner's life, he does in fact have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
correct?
I don't know. Yeah, Caitlyn something. I seen her on Instagram.
How on a scale
she's
of
blonde. She's looks kind of like Leah a little bit.
on a scale
they've been
of
traveling a lot
on
together.
a scale of 1 to heartbreak, how heartbroken are you that Brody's taken?
You know, there's still hope.
hand on chin.
Just daydreaming.
She has this poster above her bed.
They're not, you know, like married or anything, so they're still.
Oh, jeez.
They're still.
Oh, jeez.
Good point. Look at those good Southern girls.
I'll just wait for my chance.
She's gonna wait for her turn.
Well, you keep Instagramming them then. In that case.
Yeah, just Instagram stalking. That's not.
Just take a picture of yourself and like tag Brody in it.
A
like,
selfie?
I'm your future wife. Just put that.
I don't know if that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
I'll consider it.
Well, I don't know if there's gonna be another way.
All
It's
right.
LA, you know.
I think-
Anyways,
I
enough
think-
about me. Let's move
So
on.
reel it on in.
I think we got to talk a little bit about Bruce and Chris. Now, we talked a little bit about them before, and
Yeah.
Chris kind of ruining the mood and doing whatever. But first thing I noticed, Bruce still calls Chris honey. Is that because they have such a long relationship and so much respect, and they love each other even though they're not in romantic love? Or is it just out of habit and this is the way it is? Or is there something unhealthy going on?
Habit.
I feel like it's a habit.
Definitely habit, because I mean you can tell that they don't like each other. They love each other, but you can tell that they are over it. They don't like each other, and they're probably thinking if it weren't for their kids, they would cut ties.
I think that's
they put
undoubtedly
up
true.
this whole, oh, we're best friends, we're friends. Like, you were married, you had issues, now you're separating for a reason. So, you know, most people break off, go their separate ways, or at least until things simmer down. But in their case, they're trying to make it work for the family, which, you know, kudos to them. But I hate to say, it's obvious it's not going to work.
I know we're seeing Bruce and Chris at their worst, and I know that they were at their best probably well before the show came on, when Kendall and Kylie were young, or before they were born, or whatever, 10 and 15 and 20 years ago. But I have to wonder, Chris is so social, so type A, so out there, so outgoing. Chris is like a little mini Sterling, like talks to everybody. And Bruce...
Mini?
Well, whatever. Sterling's
Or am
a
I
mini,
the mini
Sterling's a mini Chris. And Bruce is out there as kind of a loner, kind of a hermit, wants to be alone. Nothing wrong with that, just doesn't socialize the same way and doesn't find energy in people. Why did they get together in the first place? I know they say opposites attract, but is that really true?
Yes,
Was this
I mean,
the best
definitely
situation?
true.
We talked about this, I think, last week or the week before, because Chris was even saying he was like this when we first started going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, not Brody. Sorry. Where's my mind?
What's on your mind?
Well, Bruce was a stud back in the day, though, when he was a little Olympian and stuff. So I feel like that's probably had a lot to do with their initial...
I'm sure they
Sure.
had just, chemistry.
But the initial, well, what kind of chemistry are you talking about?
Whatever kept them going for
I mean,
as
they
long
were
as they
having, flings in the airplane, and
did. Oh, that's right.
sounded
Mile
like
High
their
Club.
relationship used to be a lot more spontaneous than
Is
it
it-
obviously is now.
Is it bad for me to say that at the time, I don't think Chris had really a high status in the
I know where you're
what
going,
the
and you're right.
social world, and this is an Olympian, and hey, this Olympian likes me, and hey,
I mean...
Don't
I
forget,
think Bruce is a really great guy, so-
she did have a status though because of who Robert Kardashian
Exactly.
was with the O.J. Simpson trial and all that sort of stuff. Although I believe they were divorced at the time that happened. That was in '94, which would make it 20 years ago, and her and Bruce have been married for longer than that. That being said, yes, Jessie, I think you're right, and this was another way for her to move up. I'm not saying this is the only reason why she married him. I know that they love each other, but don't be stupid and act like that didn't come into play.
I think they've just grown apart. I don't question the authenticity of their relationship. I just think they grew apart.
Yeah, but, not saying Chris was like an uber celebrity back in the day, but a lot of people that are in the spotlight and stuff like that, or even associated, you know, her late ex-husband, whatever, you kind of all stay in that pool, though. It's just like most celebrities date most celebrities, you know. So I don't think it was necessarily like she was trying to bring her status up or whatever. She already had a big name behind her.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, they probably had some sort of amazing chemistry, and it obviously fizzled off over time. And clearly, they realized how opposite they were, and that just kept that tear growing. You know?
Yeah.
But if Bruce wouldn't have been, you know, in the Olympics and he was just some normal guy, they would not have been together.
Well, they probably wouldn't have even met.
Exactly. So that's my whole point in saying once you're kind of in that spotlight, you're going to meet people in the spotlight.
In the same
Had Bruce
boat.
not been in the Olympics, he'd have been stuck in Iowa in them cornfields. That's where he grew up. I believe it was Iowa. He wouldn't be in Malibu. He wouldn't be flying those little helicopters.
And
stuff,
Brody
that's for
wouldn't be
sure.
here probably.
Oh.
Lay-side.
Bummer. Last question about Chris and Bruce, unless there's other stuff you guys want to hit on them. But I do have to ask, have they ever made more of less than they made with that car accident in Thailand?
Oh my gosh, it wasn't even a big deal. And she's like, oh, she pulled my neck hurts.
It's
gosh.
And Bruce had a mark of blood on his leg. At least he was like, no, I'm
No,
good.
he did that zip lining because his leg was
Really?
bleeding.
Yeah,
zip
that was
lining.
that was
Oh,
zip lining.
man.
It didn't even happen during the wreck, and Bruce is just chilling. I mean, she's like, oh, my neck hurts. Like, dramatic. Stop with the
It's
dramatics.
so funny because I get Yahoo News emails every day, the top stories, and one of them was like 5 or 7 words, whatever, not to say to insurance when you get in an accident. One of them is whiplash, because automatically they're like, okay, they're just whiplash, and that's exactly what she did. It was funny.
I wasn't annoyed by Chris with the car accident because I know that's probably saying a lot, but so you are this high status celebrity, whatever. I feel like you should expect to get to and from wherever you're going safely. This crazy driver.
How many times?
Even
the
if
whole
you're
time
not
she was
high
talking about
status.
right. Well,
How many-
normal people, us peons, should expect if you're paying someone to drive you that they would consider your safety and maybe
She
Question.
should have told the
Question.
driver, though.
She did.
Question.
She said, "Can you?" She asked him to slow down.
Question. How many non-European countries have you driven in, though?
Yeah, I know
lot.
a lot of foreign countries.
Because it's insane, man.
Yeah, it is. I've driven and been driven.
Exactly.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
And I've never in Southeast Asia, but like it is very scary that because your life could end in that moment, and obviously
It'd be like another Princess Diana moment.
I feel like the whole like going canoeing, that stuff was annoying because those are little things that can, we can work out. But when it comes to your safety and whether or not you're going to make it back to your incredible hotel, I know. I feel like that's the biggest concern.
And the fact that the driver actually hit the person in front of them.
Well, the whole time she was like, he's going so fast, like, can you slow down, whatever. She's already annoyed from the whole ziplining thing. And then he actually hit someone. I don't know how bad it was.
Gotten out
Like,
instead
seriously.
of playing the victim and just punched that driver in the face and said, I told you to slow down.
Let me tell you, I'm certainly no expert on filming things, but having filmed some things myself, I can tell you this. If you don't have the shot, you don't use it. And what I mean by that is, if you don't have a good shot of the wreck, it doesn't go on the TV. And guess what? It didn't come up on the episode, which means to me, the dent's about a millimeter big. It's
We
a
don't
very
know how
minor
big of a
crash.
deal it was. It was really Bruce's word against her, so we
Yeah.
honestly don't know what happened.
Exactly.
But I feel like if she felt like her safety was at risk by any means, then she had every right to be annoyed.
I mean, yeah, the driver should have slowed down. But as far as the accident goes, it was minor and she was dramatic.
I agree with you completely, Jessie. We actually agree on something. All right, hey, unless we have anything more on the show, we got a lot of news stuff to get to, so let's just do it. News and gossip right now. Run it.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, now, on this side of the table, Francesca and I took the week off because, hey, when you're good, you can take the week off. So, ladies...
But then a week turns to a month, and a month turns
Sorry,
to a year.
we're
I'm surprised
hard
you went there with
workers.
that. I'm surprised
We
you
don't
went there.
stop.
Not joking, but
You better
it's a
work.
different topic.
Really, Sterling, you're dead to me now.
Anyways, can I go?
You absolutely can.
Okay, so I was just, doing some People reading, and like People, the magazine.
We gotcha.
So back in June, Scott Disick. Well, we didn't talk about him in this episode. That's really sad.
He wasn't
it's usually
around.
my favorite thing to talk about.
Hey, real quick, though, before you start this, Chloe did wrestle again in this episode. There's
Yeah, of
another
course,
episode.
always.
Her
Obviously.
streak continues. Go
Is
on.
that surprising? Scott, so in June, he was hospitalized for alcohol poisoning, which I completely forgot about. I knew that he had been seen partying and kind of getting back into that life again, but I didn't realize that he had been hospitalized for alcohol poisoning. I didn't know it was that severe, but anyways, so he's been getting help. He's been getting help from the same pastor who performed, who did Kim and Kanye's wedding. So he's trying to find his spiritual center. Obviously he had a lot of trouble with both of his parents passing away. But it seems like he is on the right track for healing and that sort of stuff ever since his, alcohol poisoning in June. And it says that the family has been very supportive. So that's not like that big of news, but they are, doing updates and that sort of stuff on him. Then my next one is, Adrienne Balin, is it Balin? Balin, yeah. Well, she was in 3LW and she used to date Rob back in the day.
Cheetah Girls,
for a long time.
Cheetah Girls.
Yeah, Cheetah
That
Girls.
was a great movie, by the way.
You know,
Anyways.
some of the old episodes were on, and her and Rob, you know, where they lived together and stuff. They had
Oh yeah. Well, they split about 5 years ago, and she had a tattoo with on her back that had his name. I don't know if it was just Rob or what it said, but she's finally getting it removed. She's really excited because she's in another relationship. She said that he's been very supportive with the tattoo, and that they found this it's like a new laser or something that makes it less invasive. It's safer for your skin, that sort of stuff. So she's very excited about that, finally getting his name off of her body. And then the last one is that, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw it on several different articles online. So, I mean, it's online, so it's
Well, it
gotta
is
be
news
true.
and gossip.
Yeah,
So.
this is more gossip, I think. But it just reports that Kendall wants to quit the Kardashian show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, because she and her team of publicists or whatever think that it could affect her. She wants to do all this high fashion modeling, Chanel, all this stuff, and that all of the kind of news and gossipy part of it could affect her high fashion modeling career. So I guess we'll see in future seasons if she sticks around or not. Not that she has like a huge part on the show anyway. She's not really involved that much, so I don't know how much that could affect her modeling career.
I think it's just a question of legal stuff with her lawyer, her publicist team, whatever it is, and it's a question of how does she come across. It's not the Kardashian brand itself, because they knew what they were getting into when she started modeling.
Mm-hmm. And that's how she got most of her jobs.
Exactly. It's a question from now on of how does she look in, can she become a brand ambassador, which is what you are as a model, for Chanel or whatever brand, while she's also doing reality TV if she's going to behave in a certain way on reality. So if she doesn't quit the show, she's going to need to become very measured with how she appears on the show.
Yeah.
Right. Can she be an ambassador and chew her mom out at the same time?
No, exactly. And the answer is no. She definitely could not chew her mom out. Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, Jessie.
I think her role on the show will probably turn into more just appearances. Oh, she's on this episode, but not on this one. It's not like a consistent thing.
Yeah.
Or she could just be nice. I don't know.
No, that's asking too much. All right, Jessie, what you got for us?
Okay, so I have a picture.
Ooh, lovely. We love pictures.
Okay.
All right, hey, ladies, you're welcome. I was right. I was right.
Okay, can I just say that they posted this on Instagram, and Scott put the Lord and his lady, and Chloe put lifeguard on duty, but they also had, like, perverted hashtags to me. Okay, like Scott said, hashtag hard times in the tub. Hard times. Come on. And then Chloe said surfboard, private swim party, the Lord, the lady. And then, like,
If
it's
this
just
was a
weird.
thing, they wouldn't be so obvious
I
about
love
it. You guys
it.
are,
I love it.
They're
They're
just-
so silly.
Yeah, they're
and
just-
it's a big joke, and they're the biggest
But
goofballs
it's
out
like,
of all of them.
do you think they get that tingling feeling about each other? Like,
Okay,
oh,
Brody and
God.
Kim.
Can I?
Like, I'm serious. Like,
No, you can't, Bobby.
No, Bobby.
You
You're
can-
not allowed to comment on this.
Can I just drop the last word in?
yes.
Nope.
I'll decide after you say it.
Yeah.
Let me just drop this on you. Bobby wins.
No.
Bobby wins what?
I was
Yeah,
right.
Nothing.
No,
You were
she
right.
didn't
Scott,
win.
Bobby,
They
if
can't
something
do
was happening,
anything.
they would not Instagram it.
Scott,
Like,
and Chloe. This family will Instagram everything, and you know that.
Not if
and
this
you
was
know
like
that.
a thing they didn't want anyone to know about.
Scott and Chloe.
I think that they're really close, but I also think if him and Courtney weren't in a relationship, that they would eventually date.
I don't see it. I can't see it. They're just like too goofy.
I'm with Frankie on this one.
Yep.
I'm with you again, Bobby.
That doesn't mean y'all are right. I'm telling you, Scott and Chloe.
Clearly, the stirs are right.
We know it's the stirs.
Oh, Lord. Jesse, you got any more news?
Yes, I do. This is probably like gossip. Not really sure how true this is, but it was a Life and Style article that Chloe and French Montana might be getting engaged, that French Montana's been shopping for rings, but some of the family members in the Kardashian clan think French Montana is using her for publicity.
I think he absolutely is.
I mean, I feel like anyone who's
wouldn't you?
associated with the Kardashians, everyone's gonna say that they're using them for something.
Unless
I
you're Kanye
personally,
West.
yeah,
In which
because he
case you
has
don't
his
need
own.
it.
He has his own deal. I personally haven't heard much stuff about French Montana, anyways, gossip wise. So
I mean,
I just,
honestly, how much publicity is he getting from this?
Oh, I
as of
think
right
he's-
now,
I think
none.
he'd be getting enough. He's in New York Daily
but
News a lot.
not career wise. If that's what his motive is.
It doesn't matter if your name's
Maybe
in
he has
people's
a new
mouth. It
album
doesn't
coming
matter.
out. I don't know. I don't
I think he
listen
does.
to it.
I think it doesn't matter. I think he's getting a lot of publicity because Chloe's story with Lamar was a big deal, and a regular question for Chloe is, "What's next after Lamar?" And that name keeps popping up.
Yeah,
so.
that's
I wonder
true.
if French Montana and Lamar ever met. Maybe they have. I'm just, predicting something. Maybe they have beef, and French is like, "I'm gonna get your girl."
That's pretty deep.
High hopes.
Hey, speaking of predictions, why don't we run that way right now? Let's do some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I predict there will be more selfies
yes,
in Thailand.
super excited.
I'm interested to see what happens if Kendall and Kylie are leaving, and Chloe seems like she's going back to LA, but are Kendall and Kylie like leaving Thailand? Is that what
Well,
they were
because
getting
we
at?
saw in the beginning of the episode that when Chloe was freaking out because Rob wasn't answering, she wanted to go home. Kylie was like, because they're like the closest, I think, at least of the girls. She wanted to go home too. So if Chloe's saying again that she wants to leave, and in addition to Chris
The
and
bickering,
the bickering, exactly, they're gonna want to go. I know this is a 3-part episode, so that someone's gonna stay, but maybe they do go.
Yeah. Well, based off their Instagrams from, just following them while they were actually there, that doesn't sound stalkery at all. But obviously they didn't Instagram like Chris and Bruce fighting or whatever.
Right.
But then their tweets and everything, they're like, great time in Thailand. Like, we're doing this today. We're riding elephants, blah, blah, blah. So we haven't seen them ride elephants yet. So that's to come, I predict.
Your predictions are so boring, you guys.
Well, what do you want
You
us
bring
to say?
nothing to the table,
Do it,
Sterling.
Jesse.
Yeah, Francesca.
Jesse, lay it out for
My
us.
prediction is more like a kind of wish.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I hope to see Rob on one of those reality weight shows where he has people encouraging him and like rooting him on, and he like loses weight in front of America and he feels great about it.
I have always thought that Rob, as much as we talk about his personal situation, because he's in this family, what his life sets up in this way is an amazing redemption story that is public. So something like that would make a lot of sense. Obviously, he'd have to want to do it. It couldn't just be Chris pulling strings, because I know she probably has tried to pull strings in the past to do something like that. But he's got an amazing redemption story coming up, whatever happens.
But it also has to be like where they're like really hard on him, like kind of like Hell's Kitchen style. Like they don't let him like give up, and like they keep pushing him, and he's forced to like do it.
Interesting. You've thought about this a lot. Little celebrity biggest loser or something.
I like Rob.
I know. Hey, listen, man, you're preaching to the choir. I like Rob too. He's got a lot more to offer. I will say, okay, I'll make my prediction about Rob too, that he'll obviously come out of this. The question is when. I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. I hope he talks about this, because if he talks about this, he has a much bigger pulpit than I do. I hope he talks about this and people see that and say, I went through that.
Yeah.
I went through the same thing, or I went through something very similar. How did you get through it? Whatever it is, because I see it and I don't know what's going on, and I'm certainly not a psychologist. I just play one on AfterBuzz. The stuff that he is going through is so serious and so personal and so private that it would be a disservice for him on some level as a role model and a public figure not to talk about it a little bit. And he doesn't have to share everything, of course, and he certainly has no right to share anything. He can keep it all private.
Totally.
But I think it would be awesome if he talks a little bit about it and what he's going through, because I think a lot of people right now, right or wrong, are just making fun of him.
I agree. I think he definitely has a platform for a great redemption story and a great way to reach out to fans and people who might not even be fans but are experiencing the same kind of thing.
And I think maybe that would make Kim and other people kind of say privately, like, oh, hey, the way we dealt with him wasn't the best. Here's how you deal with somebody who's going through something like this. This isn't being lazy. This isn't, you know, just kind of doing whatever. This isn't being disrespectful. This is on some level, almost like a sickness or a disease or whatever. And I don't know if it's, you know, clinical depression. I don't know if you can call it that. We certainly don't know. But it's something on some level that's some kind of a disease. So it's something that I think we need to have a serious conversation as a culture about things like this and say, hey, you didn't break your arm. You don't look injured, but something's wrong. And we need to look at you and say something is wrong, and we need to know that. So, all right, enough boring, depressing stuff. I'm sorry, guys.
It's not boring. It's really interesting.
As we wrap up, I didn't mean to share my life story with y'all. Let's do social media links. So, Sterling, Snapchat, Twitter, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sterling Cates.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Jessie Owen. Twitter, Instagram, and Vine, XOXOCESCA.
Twitter and Snapchat at Bobby DeMuro. I've been getting a lot of good Snapchats from people who watch the show and then send me snaps, and they're awesome. So do it again. It's just my name, at Bobby DeMuro. That's it this week on the Kardashians. Girls, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will see you guys a week from today for Thailand Part 2. See you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.